Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So hopefully you guys had a good Super Bowl Sunday. Things are looking pretty darn good today. Much better than the weekend. So let's take a look at this new week, market open, and why these huge moves, okay, are coming due to these big changes. Yes, that's right. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Take a look. We are starting out pretty darn good, I would say. Look at this. We're right around $98,000. So I would say that's pretty darn good. Way better than this weekend, including yesterday. To be honest, right before the Super Bowl, I did actually go do a Sunday walk video. It was right after we had that dip down to 95,000, that sudden dip. And I was going to release it, but then, I was like, you know what? Everyone's going to be watching the Super Bowl. So I'm like, I'm just not going to release it. And I was going to explain why it dipped, and I guess I'll explain it today. But anyways, I mean, look at it. We're back to 98,000, so it really didn't matter. Because in that video, I said, you know what? I think we're going to come back up. And you know what? Luckily, I was right. Today, we are starting out the day in the green, despite the fact that Trump said that he was going to impose 25% tariff on steel and aluminum. That's what prompted the dip yesterday. As soon as this came out, before he got on Air Force One, he said this was going to be put into place today. And then, boom, Bitcoin fell down to 95,000. Right? Like, it made no sense whatsoever. But we definitely have some whales, okay, that are really, really, really fearful about the economy, the outcome, and they are just being very, very, very reactionary. And I'm talking about whales that have a ton of Bitcoin and must be alts, because as soon as this came out, Bitcoin tanked like $2,000-$3,000, and alts bled even more. You guys know yesterday, it was like in the afternoon, suddenly, right? Everything bled out. And you can't tell me, oh, it's like every retail investor looked at this and started selling. No, there are a lot of whales that are really, 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 really fearful right now about, what's to come in on a global scale, I guess. But majority, I think, just, what's going to happen in the U.S. But obviously, right now, Wall Street is like, this could be a good thing. This could be a good thing for the U.S., right? But later this week, we will have another big reading, inflation reading on Wednesday, CPI. That's going to come out. That's going to affect things as well. So we'll see how that does. And then also jobless claims and retail sales, all these things. We'll see how those things affect the market as well. But right now, the reason why, this is the whole point of my Sunday walk video, it's pretty obvious. And my crypto cruise, right now, it's so volatile is because we have all these whales that are really, really, really reactionary. And some of these whales could be ones that are also part of Wall Street, that are really just fearful about short-term outcome. Obviously not long-term outcome. I don't think so. Short-term outcome, meaning like what's going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months because of all the moves Trump is making, right? And so far, you got to say, within a month, he's made a lot of moves and some questionable. But results are happening already. So you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. And look at what has happened with Mexico and Canada already, right? Like within a very short amount of time, stuff is happening. So that's the thing. That's why right now you have a lot of whales that's just really overreacting, trying to sell off in preparation. But in my opinion, they're just overreacting, and they will be buying back at a higher price. And that's not what we want, right? As retail investors, we don't want to fall for that trap. We want to stay the course and continue to not fall for the FUD and HODL and DCA. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Because there's long-term, short-term, yes, there's volatility. Long-term, we know where Bitcoin is heading like this. And Saylor knows that too. So strategy, the new MicroStrategy, it's called Strategy, bought another 742 million. So, I mean, obviously, Michael Saylor knows. He knows what's going on, right? Continue to buy. Even though a lot of people make fun of him and say, well, he's a top indicator and he always buys at top. But you know what? Let the trolls troll. As time goes on, he's proven right again and again and again, because Bitcoin will just continue to go up. You just have to have more patience. That's really it. Yeah. That's it. That's that. Here's something else. This is one of the big changes that's coming. Well, no, not this one, but it's coming after this. Oh, and Metaplanet, which is like the MicroStrategy or the strategy of Japan. They just reported they did really well with their quarterly earnings, 36 million in unrealized gains. Great, but they plan on acquiring 21,000 Bitcoin by 2026, which is, you know, of course, billions, right? 2 billion in Bitcoin. So just like Saylor and just like the long-term holders, they will continue to load up more and more and more. You guys know that. But here's the, here's something else that they're doing. They're converting one of the hotels they own in Tokyo into a Bitcoin hotel. That's interesting. And the hotel will host workshops, events, programs focused on Bitcoin and promoting its adoption. Guests and visitors will have the opportunity to explore Bitcoin's potential as decentralized financial systems and a transformative role in the global economy. That's pretty cool. So someday I'll visit Japan, and maybe I'll stay at that Bitcoin hotel if it's ever, whenever it's done. But that's not the big news. Okay, well, not the big change. This came out just a few hours ago that Japan, right, may lift a ban on Bitcoin and crypto ETFs. First of all, I didn't know there was a ban on Bitcoin and crypto ETFs, but okay. But second of all, yeah, so if they're going to lift a ban on Bitcoin and crypto ETFs, that's pretty big, because Japan is one of the countries that are big into Bitcoin and crypto. Top three. It's America, Japan, and South Korea. So I had no idea they actually banned ETFs, but if they get rid of the ban and allow their citizens to get involved, or allow their institutions get involved, right? That'll be huge. That'll be very, very, very huge. So, looking forward to that. Also, other things too. ETFs, speaking of ETFs, you know, even though Friday, I think we were okay on Friday in terms of price action, but Friday we ended up with plus 171 million inflow. So again, on Thursday, I told you guys, Thursday we had a massive, not massive, take it back. We had an outflow day And then we had a bigger inflow day. Again, like the whales that overreact, like the whales that even on Sunday dumped to 95,000, they had to buy back at a higher price. What's the point? It's the same thing as ETFs. On Thursday, people sold. On Friday, they bought back. What's the point of buying back a day later at a higher price? Hey, I'm looking at a comment. Thomas Lee is saying XRP is unlimited, no scarcity. That's actually incorrect, Thomas. XRP is actually one of the only crypto out there that has a set supply, 100 million. So just to correct, or 100 billion, but just to correct you, there is a set supply for XRP. But you know, this goes to show my point, right? There's no point of trying to outsmart the market. Maybe some people, the insiders, maybe the really good traders, right? But everyone else that's just overreacting or just falling for the FUD, they're going to end up buying back at a higher price. And there's no point. You're just going to lose out by doing so. Just stay the course. Montana is another state that's joining in, proposing to buy 50 million. So they're one of the 14 states now. Let's go get involved. You got Austin University. They bought $5 million of Bitcoin. That's awesome. So not only the states, but universities, I mean, pension funds, you got everything, everyone, right? And here's something else that's very interesting. Yesterday, I talked about how after Trump announced his tariffs, you got these whales that decided to dump, right? Something interesting I didn't know about. Yesterday had the highest selling pressure since the collapse of Three Arrows Capital. This is according to the head of research of Bitwise Europe. The highest amount of selling pressure on Bitcoin spot exchanges since the collapse of Three Arrow Capital. Yet the price is still at $100,000. That shows you how awesome Bitcoin is. Even though you have some that are trying to bring the price down or just really fearful and dumping whatever they have, Bitcoin really didn't move. But it also explains why alts have been so weak. Because when these guys dump, they're dumping everything. But Bitcoin is so resilient and being held by so many institutions and ETFs and long-term holders, Bitcoin's not going to go anywhere. But alts don't have the same kind of support. That's why alts have been way weaker than Bitcoin. This is why you got to have Bitcoin in your portfolio as well. People that only have alts in their portfolio, they know it's been rough. But if you have at least 50% of Bitcoin in your portfolio, you're good. You're good. But that's pretty amazing that we had the largest selling pressure day or sell pressure day since Three Arrows Capital back in 2022. That was a horrible day. And we're still close to $100,000. All right, just a few other things. Yeah, we're still forming this symmetrical triangle from a short-term perspective, I guess. That's a good thing. So we're still waiting for that next breakout. Who knows when it's going to come, but it's going to come. So we'll just have to wait a little bit longer. A little bit longer. All right. Other big changes that are coming, and I think you can just smell it. There's going to be another ETF that's going to be out soon. So it's a race between three. Right now, there's a race between Ripple, even JP Morgan. Even JP Morgan wants this to happen. So either Ripple is going to come out with their ETF, or a ETF to come out based on XRP. That could be coming any day now. And that could change the landscape in a big way. Or you can have the Solana ETF, which could come out any day now, even though the deadline is in October, but who knows? And who knows, SEC may surprise people and just release both of them at the same time. Although that's unlikely, but, you know, it's going to be a game changer. The SEC is run by new people now. Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay, kind of widely accepted. But as soon as we get a third, either XRP or Solana, to be approved, it's going to change the game because that opens up the doors for everything else. Man, it's going to happen. I mean, you're getting more and more reports about like this. You know, the SEC acknowledged a change from Grayscale. They have never done something like that before. SEC normally just always ignores everything until the last minute and they say, okay, they approved. Now they're actually, you know, recognizing changes. That means they have given themselves a deadline to approve. Which means they wouldn't be doing so if they weren't set to make a decision, right? So that's all coming up. And there's something else too. I said 3, right? It's not just Solana XRP. There's one more, and some argue that this may even be approved before those 2. And that's Litecoin. And that's I'm not a fan of this, but some are arguing that Litecoin may get its ETF even before XRP or Solana. I don't know why anyone would want to buy a Litecoin ETF, but you know, if it comes out, nevertheless, the point stays the same. To get another ETF, it's going to be a game changer. That opens up the doors to have combo ETFs, to have meme ETFs, Doge also have applicants for ETFs. And man, this could be the year of ETFs. And it could be a year where institutional money comes in and can then make some of these chains as stable, maybe not as stable, but more stable, because now you have billions coming in. They're coming. They're coming. And then I saw this. Pump.Fun is going to come out their token soon. And it's going to be on Solana. When that comes out, it's going to pump Solana, that's for sure. And then they're going to adopt the Dutch auction model. Okay. I think that's going to be massive. That's going to be massive when it comes out. All right, that's pretty much it. And I saw something else that Coin Bureau posted. I didn't post it because I didn't see anything else that related to it. But he wrote something along the lines of Trump is serious about removing capital gains tax from crypto. I think it was crypto and stocks. But I don't know how believable that is. So I didn't show it. All right. Anyways, that's it. Let's do some Q&A. Today, MicroStrategy's up. Strike is up. Remember, Strike is giving 8% dividend. And it's moving better than MicroStrategy. So what reason is there to buy MicroStrategy now? See, that's the question mark. I'm really, to be honest, I'm fearful about MicroStrategy because of Strike now. You could buy Strike, and if it moves the same and provides 8% dividend, why would you buy MicroStrategy? And you could convert from MicroStrategy too if you wanted to. I still don't think that was explained well. Anyways, they're both up. Coinbase is up slightly, Robinhood slightly, Exodus up. So far so good. The U.S. market getting a little bit weaker, but hopefully we can stay in the green. Nasdaq is still plus 145, Dow plus 100. People are trying to adjust to this 25% tariff and the big CPI report on Wednesday. All right, let's do some Q&A. Yeah, yesterday the game kind of sucked. And there was no good commercials. I mean, like, Mahomes, like, tried to come back. I mean, he had, like, like a 50-yard touchdown at the end, but made no difference. It was such a blowout in the first half. It was not a fun game to watch. And I didn't see any good commercials. I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw anything that you liked yesterday, but Psycho Girl, you own more equity with a MicroStrategy share. I mean, like, in theory, just like, what does that really mean? It's not like you get a piece of the Bitcoin. And in theory, it's broken down a MicroStrategy stock, um, gets more exposure to Bitcoin. What does that mean? He holds a lot of Bitcoin in MicroStrategy, but how the stock moves is still according to how Wall Street dictates. If Wall Street buys, it goes up. If they sell, it goes down. It doesn't matter how much Bitcoin he has. It's the same thing with Strike. And Strike technically has exposure to Strategy, which has exposure to Bitcoin. So unless he has some kind of mechanism to stabilize the Strike price and make it so that's non-volatile versus MicroStrategy's volatility, then it makes no sense to buy Strategy over Strike. Everyone will buy Strike. And I think that's what's happening right now because Strike is going up faster than Strategy, which shouldn't be the case. Strike is supposed to be less volatile so that you get fixed dividend of 8%. If you get more returns with Strike and you get dividend, man, that would be bad for strategy holders, right? Man, yesterday when we fell down to 95, some of these alts just took such a beating. I'm glad to see some came back. Sol above 200 again. XRP at 240. I mean, look at yesterday. XRP fell. Well, no, it's not yesterday. That would have been bad if that was yesterday. Was it? XRP fell to what? Was it 230 yesterday? Sol fell down to 193 yesterday. Sui fell down to 286. Sui's gotten really, really weak. Really weak. You look at some of the others like Chainlink. Chainlink fell down to $17 yesterday. AVAX 23. Some of these alts are just getting weaker and weaker, and they're just not recovering. Just a few weeks ago, AVAX was at $35, and it's at $25 right now. Algo or H bar? If I had to choose, I would choose H bar. I think they have a little bit more going on. H bar's president, or not president, founder, I forgot his name. He's been dealing with Trump, and they have a bigger relationship with Ripple and Cardano. They're working together. So I would choose Hedera. Reza asked a good question. George, do you not sometimes think this bull run is too good to be true with Trump being so pro-crypto? Maybe that's the reason why it doesn't do as well as it does usually. No. I mean, the bull run started, back in 2024. It got kickstarted by the ETFs, right? That didn't change. But then it really got started, and then it got kickstarted again with Trump winning. If you're just looking at Bitcoin, we're doing just fine. If you're looking at alt performance, we're doing fine, except when you compare it to 2 weeks ago. We've fallen down a lot. But if you compare it to 6 months ago, alts are doing just fine. So I think it's a case of we're just living in the moment. Like, honestly, we all love to make a lot of money really fast. Okay? When you live in a moment, it's like, oh my God, things are down. They're really down. But we're really down for like 2 weeks, a month. But you zoom out and you look, okay, in the last 6 months, I'm still up 100%, then we're good. We haven't really, lost all of our gains. It's just that the last 2 weeks has been rough, at least for alts. For Bitcoin, we're still fine. We're at 97. Can't complain about that. But yeah, some of those alts, man, really lost a lot of gains the last 2 weeks. That's for sure. I just feel like those whales, they're just really scared about all these tariffs and economic outlook. So they're just like dumping all their alts right now. What is your percentage chance for a super cycle? I don't know. I'm pretty ambitious. I mean, not ambitious. I'm pretty hopeful, I guess, for a super cycle. So I'm thinking it's like 40, 60. I almost want to say 50-50, but I think it's more like 40-60. Because I think that Bitcoin accumulation is going to continue this year. No, I'm just going to say 50-50. I think it's very likely, Dr. Pancake, in my opinion. I just don't see Bitcoin accumulation stopping this year. It's only going to increase. And I just don't see all of them dumping at the end of the year. It just doesn't make sense. XYO is curling for its big move. I don't even know what that means. What are the chances of not getting altcoin season? Well, I don't know. I think there's still gonna be some. There's always gonna be something, some move. Even when Bitcoin pumps up a lot, it carries the alts. So there's gonna be something. So it just depends on your expectations. Altcoin season like before, where you see alts go up like crazily, like 10, 20, 50x, you know, I don't know. You know, maybe not like the 50x's and 20x's, but like 5 to 10x, you probably still go see that. We saw that just simply from, you know, last year to this year. So I guess it really depends. Reza, thank you. So I just think that this year's altcoin season is not going to be like previous altcoin seasons. I think you got to be really choosy, like in terms of holding on to good ones, holding on to bad ones. I don't think it's going to be like previous cycles where everything's going to pump. I think maybe this is going to be a cycle where the not so good alts will not pump hard like previous cycles. Only the good ones will. Maybe that's the difference. Yeah, man, Strike is double the price of MicroStrategy now. I mean, in terms of gains. Man, they need to come out of 2x Strike ETF. Dana said, I'm going to buy $150 worth of Bitcoin every week till 2028. That's not a bad idea. Just keep accumulating. You don't have to stop until 2028. You know, you could just keep going until the foreseeable future. Just keep stacking. I found 3K ADA on a wallet from 2019. Congrats. Congrats. You're making me want to move my MicroStrategy into Bitcoin now. I don't know, man. I mean, MicroStrategy was so hot, like in 2024, it had what, 1,600% return or something, and then Wall Street decided. It was ever since that one company, Citadel, that said they were shorting MicroStrategy. That's when the gain stopped. That was the exact time MicroStrategy stopped going up. They started shorting, and I think everyone else started piling on. That was the exact date that MicroStrategy stopped going up. No matter how much Sailor has been buying, it has stopped going up. It can't break 400. And it's been frustrating. It makes no sense. It was like right around here. I think it was like right here is when he announced it, right at peak. And since then, it's just been like a slow, gradual decline. I mean, not that you could really complain. Even at its current level, MicroStrategy is worth 75 billion, which is like, I don't know, 10 times more than what it was worth like a few years ago. But I'm just concerned that Strike now is taking all the momentum away. Strike is doing, well, it's only been a few days, but the fact that it's moving faster than MicroStrategy is concerning because the stock shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be moving. It's supposed to be a really stable stock. That's why it provides a high dividend. But if it becomes volatile and it moves very quickly, then it defeats the purpose. Do I buy gold? No, I do not. Charles says, you got a huge audience watching on my phone right now. Awesome. Give us a dad joke. I'm out of those. I'm out of those. I gotta go learn some more. Oh, yes. I'm looking forward to Luka and LeBron playing. Did you see Austin Reeves, man? He had 45-7-7 the other day because LeBron wasn't playing. He's trying to show everyone, like, I could play too. If Austin Reeves continue to develop, you're going to have Luka, AR, LeBron, you know, the front court. Man, that's going to be crazy. If they could just add one big, that's going to be unstoppable. People overlook Austin Reeves. He's a really good player. If he was on any other team, he'll be averaging like 25 points a game. Like, he's damn good. If he was like, he chose less money to stay on the Lakers, he would be a starter on any other team and be averaging like 25-4-4. Like, and he has that, you know, he's not afraid to take the big shots too. He loves taking those last second shots. Larry says, can't sell Strike until MicroStrategy reaches 1,000. I thought you can't convert until it hits 1,000. You can't sell it either? Is that real? Is that true? I thought you just can't convert. Maybe that's the reason. If you can't sell that stock, then that means it can only go up. Then the price can never go down. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Johnny, you might have touched this already, but I can't help but wonder about an exit. Thoughts too early? Yeah, this is not a time to be asking about exit. Here's the thing. When you're thinking about exiting, when the market isn't doing well, that's usually when it's not a good time to be thinking about it. When the market is doing very well and you're getting really greedy, that's actually when you should think about an exit, honestly. But that's usually when people don't think about an exit. when the market's not doing well, that's when you should be thinking that how should I get more money to buy? But when everyone's making boatloads of money and greed and FOMO is at all-time high, that's when you ask, maybe this is what I exit, or how should I exit? Is it possible for Pepe to rally? Yes. Pepe's gonna go up. A lot of the alts, a lot of the memes are going to go up. I honestly think my theory is altcoin season is going to be led by memes. It's not going to be led by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is driven by institutions now. So alts probably going to be driven by memes. Because retail, what are they going to do? When they FOMO in, they go FOMO into memes. Memes will get big and there will be more of them. And then the money comes out and then they go into more memes. And then eventually when the whole thing pops, all the money's going to go into the alts. That's my theory. That's how we're going to get an altcoin season. Actually from the meme bubbles popping. Not from Bitcoin bubble popping. In the previous cycles, Bitcoin bubble is what causes altcoin season to start. This time around, if there's no Bitcoin bubble, then what's going to drive the liquidity into the alts? It's probably from the memes. Lewis, I don't read anything Murad says. I don't read or listen to what anyone says, really. My opinions are of my own. Besides the stories that I cover. G7, am I hosting any events at the conferences this year? I don't know. I may do a co-hosted one somewhere. I just don't have time these days to plan any events on my own. I'm too busy. Now I'm still doing IFC stuff, so I'm always figuring out how to schedule my time to deal with the IFC and also to go to the conferences and go to the side events at those conferences. I just don't really have time to plan anything for myself. Eventually I will. I'll find a good time to do something, but right now I just don't have time. Man, strike continues to go up and up and up. All right, guys. Let's call it. Let's call it. So far, so good. Market is reacting well. Bitcoin's up slightly. A lot of alts are recovering, but still way down from a couple weeks ago. So I think overall, a lot of whales, maybe some institutions. Still waiting to see what's going to happen with the economy, all the new things that Trump is implementing. Still a lot of uncertainty out there. So short term, still probably a lot of volatility. Long term, we know we're heading in the right direction. So stay strong, my friends. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.